Lewis Hamilton's disqualification at the Chinese Grand Prix has just taken a completely unexpected turn. What initially seemed like a clear-cut technical infringement has now become the center of a growing storm inside the F1 paddock. New evidence has emerged that might explain what really went wrong with Ferrari's setup, and this changes the entire picture. Behind closed doors, engineers, analysts, and rival teams have started piecing together what could be the root cause of the excessive plank wear that led to Hamilton losing his sixth-place finish. This isn't just about a car running too low, it's about a possible fundamental flaw in Ferrari's ride height management and the critical data they may have missed before the race even began. From incomplete preseason simulations to unexpected consequences of setup changes between the sprint and the main race, the clues are now starting to surface, raising serious questions not just for Ferrari, but for the FIA's technical framework as well. There's a lot to unpack here, and the implications go far beyond one weekend. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us until the very end because we're going to break down every detail of this emerging theory and what it could mean for Lewis Hamilton's future at Ferrari. Just hours after the checkered flag fell in Shanghai, Ferrari's hopes were shattered. Lewis Hamilton had finished sixth on the road, and Charles Leclerc had brought the car home in fifth, salvaging what looked like a solid points haul after a turbulent start to the 2025 season. But what followed turned the entire race weekend upside down. Both Ferraris were disqualified after post-race inspections. Leclerc's car was found to be under the minimum weight limit, and Hamilton's was penalized for excessive plank wear. At first glance, these looked like basic compliance errors, the kind top teams rarely make. But now a new theory is emerging that might explain why this happened, and it paints a far more complicated picture of Ferrari's 2025 campaign. Let's start with Hamilton's disqualification. The skid block on the underside of the car, commonly referred to as the plank, is there to enforce a minimum ride height. If the car is running too low, the plank wears down too much and breaches the 9mm minimum thickness requirement. In Hamilton's case, the post-race measurements showed the plank had worn below that limit, 8.6 millimeters on the left, 8.6 millimeters on the center line, and 8.5 millimeters on the right. Ferrari admitted the error, confirmed the measurements were accurate, and acknowledged there were no mitigating circumstances. The FIA applied an automatic disqualification, but now we know this wasn't just a simple miscalculation. According to emerging paddock analysis, Ferrari may have been caught out by a ride height problem rooted in their lack of dry running data, specifically with Hamilton, during preseason testing in Bahrain. Hamilton's SF25 suffered a technical issue that prevented the team from completing a full race simulation with him. That meant they were missing crucial data on how the car behaves over a long stint with heavy fuel loads on a dry track. Fast forward to the Chinese Grand Prix, the first full dry race Hamilton has completed this season, and that missing data may have come back to bite them. The working theory is this. After raising the ride height in Australia to cope with the bumpy street circuit and wet conditions, Ferrari then dropped it again for China, expecting smoother tarmac and a more predictable track surface. But without a proper dry race simulation in hand, they may have set the ride height too low, not realizing how the plank would wear down under heavy fuel and race conditions. Add to that the fact that Hamilton's sprint victory might have masked the issue, as the sprint is far shorter and run on different fuel and tire strategies, and you begin to understand how the team could have been blindsided. This idea is reinforced by the fact that Leclerc's disqualification came from a different issue altogether. After sustaining front wing damage early in the race, Ferrari replaced Leclerc's wing before weighing the car post-race as allowed by regulations. But even with the heavier replacement wing fitted, the car came in 1 kilogram under the 800 kilogram minimum weight limit once fuel was drained. That indicates the original wing and fuel calculations were off, another rare but costly oversight from a top-tier team. While the FIA accepted that Ferrari followed protocol, they found no mitigating factors for the weight discrepancy and disqualified Leclerc as well. All of this has sparked renewed scrutiny of Ferrari's setup philosophy and how sensitive the SF25 may be to small changes in ride height. For Hamilton, this is not just a setback, it's a warning. He joined Ferrari to make history, to fight for an eighth world title, but that dream will only materialize if the team around him can deliver a car that's not just fast, but compliant, reliable, and adaptable. Because in today's Formula One, the smallest technical detail can erase an entire weekend's work. Let us know in the comments what you think of this developing story. Do you believe Ferrari has a bigger problem on their hands? Can they get on top of it before more weekends are compromised? And remember, if you want to stay ahead of every twist and turn in this dramatic 2025 season, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. There's a lot more to uncover, and we'll be here to bring you every angle, every update, and every revelation. Because if there's one thing this incident proves, it's that the challenges facing Ferrari go beyond what we see on the timing sheets. Behind every disqualification, every radio message, and every pit wall decision, there's a story unfolding.